Well, it's Sunday the 23rd of August 2020 and it's time for a clear out. The cucumbers have come to the last of it now. The Melba melon's done nothing. It's produced loads and loads and loads of flowers and it's spread its wings massively, but not one melon has appeared. So out they come. So the cucumber, these are going to be the last of the cucumbers, these now, they're coming out. That snail there, cheeky yet. Yeah. So that's coming out. The Melba melon, lots and lots of growth, lots and lots of flowers. Not one became a melon, unfortunately. But I want these beds. I want to clear these beds out so we can get some winter growing done in here. The top 4mm clear polycarbonate twin wall greenhouse. I'm going to leave these peppers in. Corno di Toro Rosso. I'll leave these in, and the Apache chili peppers are going to be left in. But the cucumber plant is coming out, and some of the marigolds will be coming out as well. And all this bed's going to be cleared to make some room for other things. So let me crack on with that. Ta-da! There's like a carpet of horse's tail in here. I've still got to get some leaf cleared, and there's a bit more clearing up to do. But that bed's prepared now. I put another half a bag of compost on top of it, mixed it in, weeded it thoroughly first, and we're laughing. That should be ready now. I'm going to put some bone meal in with it, and that should be okay now, because it did get a lot of nitrogen put in it at the beginning of the season, and I think there's plenty still in there. And unfortunately I haven't got any. Actually, yes, I have. I've got some 6x. I might put a sprinkler 6x in there, probably a couple of handful for every 3 foot by 18 inch. Mix that in with it and a bit of bone meal, and get the leafy greens in there. What do you think? I think it's a go of that. Yeah, we'll do that. I've cleared out this side, but I've not prepared it yet. So I've got to weed that and sort of amend that soil, put a bit more compost just to top it off, I think, in there. I'm going to leave in the Apache chili peppers, which are coming through, as you can see. I'll leave them in, and the Corno di Toro Rosso is going to be kept in. I've took one of the Corno di Toro Rosso out because it wasn't really doing much. I only got one pepper on it, and it was getting quite badly bug bit. I think they were coming across from the diseased cucumber plants onto here, and so I've took it out. That I'm going to leave that one in and see how we go with it. Give them a feed before I go today as well. So yeah, I put about sprinkled 4 handfuls of the bone meal, and I've sprinkled 4 handfuls, well, sort of like that, of the 6x, which is concentrated farmyard manure, plenty of nitrogen in there, and because we're growing leafy green vegetables, they'll appreciate that. That's gone into that bed. That's going to be seeded. I was watching Mick's channel the other day. Old MacDarby's farm. Mick's our neighbour next door, Mick and Henry, Cooperman and Professor Derbyshire, have been experimenting with copper nails. Now they've been sprinkling copper nails about. You can buy copper nails, and they've been sprinkling them about in the beds and in the pots. And the slugs, from the evidence we've seen, the slugs detest it. In fact, it's been looking like it's been killing the slugs off, because they found quite a few dead slugs in the tomato pots. You know, the pots that they're growing the tomatoes in the twin wall polycarbonate. So sort of Anderson shelter tomato growing room that they've got over there. And it appears to be working. Now, I've heard about copper strips, putting copper strips about around your pots and around your beds and stuff like that. But the copper nails, just sprinkled copper nails about, seems to be doing the job. I'm always looking for alternatives to using slug pellets, because slug pellets are not very environmentally friendly to our fauna. You know, if other creatures apart from the slugs eat them, or things like hedgehogs eat the slugs that have eaten the slug pellets, then they too die. It's not good for them. So we're looking for alternatives to using that. I'm going to be doing the beer traps, so I'm going to be putting beer traps in there, and I'm also going to be putting the copper nails in. I'll get hold of some copper nails and see how they do. It's working for these guys at the back here. Check the channel out, it's Old MacDarby's Farm. Check it out. Mick and Henry. And Harvey the dog, he makes an appearance every show, or more or less every show. But yeah, so we're going to try that. We're going to get some plants put in there, get some seeds put in there now. I'm going to put some Chinese cabbage in there. I'm going to put some pak choy in, and I'm going to put some giant winter spinach into that. See if we can get some late autumn into winter greenery, fresh greens coming out. I'll show you the bed that we did. We started off last month actually. I sowed the bed last month. Now this is a directly sown, direct outside into the bed planting. That's choy sun, which is a flowering pak choy. It does bolt, but it's supposed to bolt quite early. But you can eat the whole plant. You can eat the flowers. You can eat the leaf. It does tend to get spindly if you leave it too long, but this is a mixed bag of spicy oriental leaves. So we've got the spicy leaves in, we've got some beets there, that's a multicoloured mix of beetroot down there. We've got your standard bolt hardy beetroot, I think we've got some cylindra down there, and that's some spinach as well that we've got in. And amaranth, there's a wayward amaranth there. You can eat the leaves when they're young, but the slugs have decimated the amaranth. They really like the amaranth for some reason, so as they've come through, they've been on them straight away. I've got to get some pinprick weeding done in there as well, and get some of these wayward ones out. These wayward little starts. Got to pinprick them out, because there's horse manure underneath there. You can see there's mushrooms growing through it as well. We've had a couple of flushes of mushrooms, but they're not the edible type, I don't think. But, yeah. So I mean, this bed is working out okay. We're going to be taking leaves from this for the next 3 months. I would have guessed. There's some Mikado spinach on the end there, but that's not doing too well. Again, the slugs decimated it. They came in and they've been all over it. You can see the trails of the slugs there. So again, I'm going to be having to get some beer traps in there and maybe get those copper nails in as well. Give it a whirl, Mick and Henry. Good lads, go and check them out. Old MacDarby's Farm, I'll put the link in below. I'll show you what the slugs have done to me bloody Chinese cabbage. Look at that swine. Him and his mates have been having a bloody field day with my Chinese cabbage. I love Chinese cabbage as well, but look at that. They're all over it. They're a pestilence. Look at that one, that's a bloody shell of its former self, innit? But they don't seem to be touching my cauliflower. They're not bothered with the cauliflower. Let me open the door, and I'll open the door to Brad's cage, and I'll show you. This is our Bradley's cage. Our youngest. We lock him in here. We don't really. So if you look at the cauliflower on that side, that's fine. It's got a few bites and chomps, but nothing too major. But on this side, look at that. Deviled it. And it's slug, because you can see the slug poo on the bloody leaves there. Deviled it. So, something has to be done with these slugs. They're not playing the game, are they? not playing by the rules. You know what I mean? There must be 50,000 tons of greenery in this area that they could eat. I'll let them have as many of the bloody dandelion as they want. They can have that. Help yourselves, knock yourselves out. Well, just leave me cabbages alone. Chinese cabbage, I love it. I love Chinese cabbage. Look at that state of it. Appalling beasts. Because it's not the cabbage whites that's doing that, it's the slugs and snails. The cabbage white butterfly has been excluded from this cage. I haven't seen any inside it. Yeah, slugs, pigs. Here's some more that I've put out. I started these off from small. I started from seeds in these trays and planted them all out last week, I think it was. And again, we've got a lot of beetroot in there. We've got some spinach. We've got chard in there as well. Boltardy beetroot. That's chard. Rainbow chard. Yeah. Coloured mix of beetroots there. Another coloured mix. We like our beets. Beets are good for you. So we are starting stuff off, and we've got stuff growing. Look at that. Tiny little cauliflower. Slug poo all over it. I've got to sort these slugs out. The peas are coming on, so I'm just been staking up the peas as well. There's a little herb garden. I'm clearing out everything in there. All that's left of the tomatoes are going to be harvested today, and it's all going to be cleared out because I'm going to use these greenhouses and what have you once it's all out for the winter growing. So I'm going to be growing the leafy greens inside and potatoes as well inside, maybe even peas. Might go for some winter peas and get them in. Joe did peas in that polytunnel, and he had cracking results off them. Grown inside the polytunnel, sort of beginning of the year and into summer. I think he's only just took them out now, actually, to be honest. The peas. So why not, you know, get them banged in. It's that bit warmer, isn't it? It's that bit warmer inside the polytunnels that they seem to thrive, and a lot of the harsh wind and conditions that damage your plants, like we're getting outside here, are not so prevalent inside there, are they? So he's doing all right with that. Got some spinach there that's going to bolt. Lots of beets. Again, the beets are in there. Onions. We'll be starting the winter onions off next month. And the garlic. This is the bed that I sold the other day. And we are starting to get the odd line or two coming through. But I'll have to keep an eye on the other weeds, if you like. You can see the weeds are going to be coming through in between my rows. These are the rows that you can see. The beetroot, Boltardy beetroot. There's one there and there's one here. These rows. And that's the lettuce. But there's all these other ones that are outside of the rows. There's another row, Swiss chard. In fact, I think it's rainbow chard. It looks like the rainbow chard to me, that. It said Swiss chard on the packet, so. And then lamb's lettuce is in this one. I don't see any lamb's lettuce action as such so far. But these were only put in there last, I think it was Monday or something like that, when I put them in. So I'm surprised actually that we're getting them coming through at the moment. We've got some pointed cabbage and some kale in here. Again, it wants weeding. But the slugs again. I mean, here, look at these. They were lovely, these kale. Caballot De Niro, Robert De Niro kale, I call it. And they've had it. They've decimated it. They have got to be stopped. They're a pestilence. These are elf beans. The elf beans are coming on. There's some more elf beans over there. We think originally they were cobra, climbing French. and these are ready for another picking. Every couple of days really you can pick about, I don't know, off what we've got, because we've got them there as well. We're getting about £0.5 pound every couple of days off these, which is all we need really. We don't need much more than that, and because we planted them successionally like this, these were only put in there about 5 weeks ago, these ones. So we're hoping that these will be coming through until the end of September into October, well, probably October, end of October, before they die back. So we'll have a couple of months where we're going to be taking them off from here. Beetroots are still coming. Not too late for beetroot. If the weather conditions remain mild, we should be fine. These are ones from Kelly, Kelly Bramall at Kelly's Kitchen Garden, and she sent these down. These are definitely Cobra. And again, I'm going to be taking them off today as well. Our parsnips, they'll be right monstrosities, them parsnips. They'll be like face suckers off Alien when they come out. There'll not be a straight one amongst them, I'll bet you. But there'll be parsnips, that's for sure. We will have parsnips. And we've got the parsnips in the buckets here as well. So we'll see. It'll be interesting to see what's inside those buckets, how they've got on. Anyway, I'm digressing onto more peas there. Look. I've staked the peas up, caned them up, so hopefully they'll be coming through. Plenty of weeds. Them's the cowpea that we got from Robert Ession's family garden, those. Sweet corn. Have to see how that's getting on. I did open one up the other day and it's like that. It hadn't pollinated, which is bizarre really. When you look at the pollination chevrons or whatever they are at the top, they've still got a lot of them on, haven't they? They've still got a lot of them pollinators on them. They drop down onto your tassels and in theory pollinate all your sweet corn, but that's mini pop. Last year we didn't do mini pop. We did I forget what it was called, some sort of like Peruvian thing, which did fantastically well. The corn off that, the sweet corn. But if that's anything to go by, I'm a bit worried. But we're going to give them the best bet. We're going to give them the best go at it. We're going away this week. We're going up to the Lake District, and then when I come back on the Friday, I'm going to pull these out, I think, and have a look, see how they're getting on. So I'm going to give them like sort of another week to prove themselves. Sunflower. 2 sunflowers. This one's Bradley's, and the other one's James's. They're doing alright. They're doing nice. That one's about 7 foot, and that one's knocking on for 8 foot tall. 8 feet tall, but I've got to tie them onto the cane because they're getting a bit wavy. If we get a strong wind, they'll be over them. So I'm gonna tie them onto the cane, stake them out. Right, okay. So we're gonna get some harvesting done now. See what we can take out. I'm gonna take quite a lot of tomato with us tonight, and get that back to the homestead. Along with other things. So I'll see you in a bit and see what we can harvest. Okay? So these vining tomatoes, these little viners, the sun gold, which we all know and love. Beautiful sun gold. And the super sweet 100. The red ones in the middle, more sun gold at the back there. These are Ildi F1, these are called. Quite prolific, as you can see, these orange ones. I don't like that, do you? I think I'll cut all that out, that browning. It's not looking good, is it? At all. Anyway, never mind. We'll check the tomatoes off that we can. We're going to harvest the tomatoes off from these. All of these sort of like deeper orange coloured ones are going to be ready now, aren't they? So we'll get all them out. I've took all the cucumbers out. That have all died off. So no cucumbers left anymore, that's it, that was the end of the cucumbers, but we've still got tomatoes for days, and I reckon it'll take us up till probably maybe the end of September before I start to whip them out, unless I get bored with them, and I'll whip them out earlier, and we'll get some winter plantings in here, as we did next door, get the leafy greens in, and potatoes potentially, spuds. Probably will get spuds in here actually, to be honest. Probably 4 spud plants for each of these sections. Yeah, winter spuds, Christmas potatoes hopefully. But let's get these off, let's get these harvested. Okay, so these plants have been well thinned now. They've had a good thinning out. Those Ildi F1 are the gift that just keeps giving. You talk about prolific. There must be a couple of pound of these. And over the last 8 weeks, we've probably pulled off, well, yeah, they started coming through the beginning of July. So, July, August, we're going into September now. Or we will be shortly anyway, won't we? So, about the last 7 weeks, 8 weeks, we've been taking about, I would say, £2 every time I pop down. So that's 3 times a week, £6 a week for 7 weeks. It's a lot, isn't it? It's £42 off those Ildies, and they're only small, as I say. They're only like a little plummy type tomato. There's other tomatoes in there. There's a bigger plum there. Not 100% sure what variety that one is, to be honest with you. We've just been pulling them off. I've been clearing off everything that's ripe that I've found, and a couple of peppers there. Chili pepper, cayenne pepper, that little cayennes. These are the Toro del Rosso, the Red Bull's horns. Obviously, that's green. I'm taking these out early because I want to, really. The ones that we're getting ripe, as soon as they start getting ripe, we're getting little bore holes coming in the tops. Not on these ones; these are fine, but the ones that turned red, they all had bore holes in them. And they were bug bit, so that was a bit disappointing. It's peeing down now as well. There's a little bell pepper, Californian wonder, but it didn't do so wonderfully for us, really. That it's peeing down at the moment, but I'm going to have to get outside and get me beans. So that's the next job: get them climbing French in. So we've got the brightly coloured fruits. Let's get some pulses. Bit of protein. I'm going to take some, well, any that are ready, really, I'm going to take from here. As you can see, they're still flowering, these, and they'll continue to flower. These are, as I said before, these are the ones that are going to be coming on over the next sort of 4 to 6 weeks. We'll be picking off these ones in the little teepees. But we're going to take these ones. These are Joe's elf beans, and we'll get Kelly's cobra beans as well. Take them home for tea. I know what you're thinking. They're not bad little turnips. But they are parsnips. They aren't turnips, they're parsnips. I've done something wrong with that bucket, haven't I? I thought I'd done alright there. I thought I'd filtered the compost, I'd put perlite in with it. But that's what we got off the back of it. Now, if they'd have been that fat, with one long tapering root on them, they'd have been great parsnips then, but as it stands, they look more like bloody turnips, don't they? Anyway, there's 4 there. There's another one over at the side of the tiki hut. You can eat the leaves off these as well. Not only do they look a bit like celery, they're quite similar to celery. It's in the same sort of family of plants, the parsnip and the turnip. Sorry, the celery. Similar. You look at the leaves are quite similar. I don't think I'll be eating these though, to be honest. We want it compost, but you can eat them. I better shift these, actually, they're all falling down. Making a right pig's ear of this, aren't they? They'll all eat though, no matter how monstrous they look. They'll all go down the same hole. I'll have to trim them up and get them into little diced Diced parsnips. Right, so there's the harvest for today. The mutant parsnips, the fabulous tomatoes and peppers, chilies, another chilli there, well, another large Corno de Toro Rosso or Grino, some leafy greens, got a mixture in there, some spinach, some mixed oriental leaf. There's our beans and our peas that we got, some beans and peas. I'm taking the onions and the garlic home as well tonight, just to get shut a bit, I'll get it all out the remaining lot out of the greenhouse. But yeah, that's what we've got today. So I'll catch you in a bit. I'll show you my new car. There it is, a 2.2 litre DCI turbo diesel, that is, Nissan X-Trail Columbia. It's not a new one, obviously. I'm not as rich as Croesus, but it'll do us the job. Should do. So yeah, we've got all the gear in the back there, all the harvest that we've just taken. Just got some new wellies for myself and the boys there for our little trip up to Windermere. But yeah, I quite like it. Sort of same size as a Land Rover Freelander, that kind of a size. But somebody's messing about here, hang on a minute. So yeah, there we go. Quite chuffed. One of the other allotment holders has just popped up and he's got exactly the same one. There, that's his. Same one, isn't it? Only in more of a sort of a champagne colour, where mine's like a platinum silver colour. Right, let's get off. So yeah, the new car, good, isn't it? I'm just going to take all the weeds and the stuff that I've pulled up to the top, to our dumping ground, which is like a composting area up at the top, and then that's us. So I might put a couple up in the week maybe from our little holiday that we're going to be taking up in the Lake District. If the weather's like this, it'll be a lot of indoor shots, I would imagine. But fingers crossed, you never know with the great British weather, do you? It can surprise you, good and bad. So if I don't see you through the week, I'll see you through the window. This is Guru Mafinda signing out, and remember, we love you all, and keep growing with your heads down, boys and girls. Tatty bye.